Good afternoon, everyone. Good, good afternoon, Amit Sankar sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Hey, cool.
Let me know when we can start this. I'm just adjusting my camera till the time.
Okay.
Yeah, we can start. Please let me know.
Manmat sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So, a very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to welcome. Am I audible to all of you? My voice?
You're audible.
Okay. Fine. So, a very good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. Sunil Kumar Das, Assistant Professor in School of Business, ASBM University, to this 5-day online program on structural equation modeling. First of all, we have with us Professor Manmat Nath Samantra, Dean School of Business, ASBM University, and today's resource person for the first 3 days, Professor Dr. Amit Sankar, Assistant Professor from Indian Institute of Management, Visakhapatnam. So, first of all, I would like to request Professor Manmat Nath Samantra sir to give a welcome address on this occasion. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Das Bendi. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Dr. Amit Sankar from IIM Visakhapatnam for this 5-day development program, certificate program on structural equation modeling. So, no doubt. So, this is a buzzing concept and everybody uses in their research field because there are so many methods and statistical tools are used in various fields. This is one particular tool every researcher now and then, every researcher is using because of some other is having some kind of limitations. Here the limitation are because to overcome the limitation of limited variables, because in research we are very much concerned about the variables and the variables to be tested. And structural equation modeling doesn't restrict on the variables. So as far my knowledge goes, and with this, when restriction is not there to test for the variables, it becomes easy to find out a causal relationship or cause and effective relationship between dependent variable or independent variable, or we call the latent variables, observed variables. So many things are there in the concept. When you talk about regression, we call about dependent variable, independent variable. But when it talks about a higher order, like a multivariate analysis we are using, and so many variables are there. And with that one, there may be some other variable which is not measured, but can be measured using structural equation modeling. But in a regression model, every variable has to be measured when you come to a particular conclusion to find out and cause and effect. But here what happens, sometimes some kind of attitude or behavior, as we are all, our behavior and attitude are not measured directly. It has got some kind of indirect effect on some indirect measurement is there. So this structural equation modeling helps in finding out the indirect effects and the direct effects, which are there for observed variable. There are also, you'll see as the process goes, as this training certificate program will resume, and I hope you will enjoy this. How this unobserved variable and what are observed variables, and how this error also causes sometimes difficulty in measuring a particular variable. So because sometimes as a researcher we forget, because error also plays a vital role in our research. Or we talk about, because when the data is not normal, or data may be skewed, or maybe having left skewed, right skewed, so many things we have read. But actually in this particular concept of the model, we say whatever the model or the theoretical framework which we have designed in a particular research, we are finding out whether it is deemed fit or not. And that is why we take so many variables into consideration and test these variables. And also the variables which are not taken into consideration, but thinking that this will lead to some other thing, that is also covered in a systematic way. So I think this is a very important concept which are all used. I hope the researchers will enjoy this program, or the faculty, academicians, or industry people, they will also enjoy this program. Thank you, Dr. uh, Sunil Das Bendi and Dr. Amit Sankar. Thank you, Dr. Amit Sankar, for accepting our invitation and to become a resource person for this 5 days program. I hope you will enjoy this particular program with his vast knowledge in the research field. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank,
much.
thank you very much, sir, for this welcome address. And before we start, let me introduce and present the brief profile of Dr. Amit Sankar. As you all know already, I have said that Amit Sankar is working as assistant professor in Indian Institute of Management, Visakhapatnam. Apart from that, if you can see from the last 7 years, Amit Sankar has almost published 27 journals, one book, and most we can see that 90% of the journals are ABDC A category. So it gives so much of encouragement for us being researchers and scholars, so that we can present of that quality papers in the coming. Some of the papers were like Journal of Business Research, Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services, Journal of Marketing Management, Journal of Global Information Management. So we can consider this all the top marketing journals, which is categorized in ABDC category of A category. SAR has published. So this is one of the SAR that resource person were very much fundamental in nature. So this I hope that this workshop will give an opportunity to the research scholars or the assistant professors to use this model or use this theory in some kind of limelight. So I hope this session will be more practical and help us indeed, because it is very complex. 5 days program won't help us, but at least we'll have a glance how to use this program. Welcome you, sir, to this, and it is
Thank you.
over to you.
Thanks for the introduction, and thanks for organizing this seminar. This is the need of our nowadays, and to understand that what it takes to use structure equation modeling. I want to make it more interactive, and so if you have any question in between, I love to handle that question, because if you will not interact with me, definitely I can go on and kind of speak for another 10 sessions, but they will not understand anything. So try to get something from tomorrow onwards. I will share, sir. I will share some of the data set with you, Prof. You can share with participants. Tomorrow onwards, we will do hands-on sort of thing.
Okay.
So they will also do with me. So because today is the basic thing. I will set a tone. I will introduce what the structure equation modeling is, how it's different from the relation. Tomorrow onwards, we will do hands-on. So I will share some of the data set in advance. So we will do together. So participants can also do, and I will also do here, so they can understand the nuances of doing it. Second thing, they all have structure equation modeling. Amos.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have already sent the Amos software with the serial number, and they will install it.
Perfectly fine. Then it's perfectly fine. So from tomorrow onwards, I will share the data set today or tomorrow morning. So you share with the participants. So we'll start working on hands-on on that data. Today we will understand what it takes and where to use SCM, because SCM is very fascinating term now. Everyone has started using a structure, irrespective it's required or not. So today it's very important where to use this method. What's the benefit of using CBSCM? I'll also explain you what is the difference between CBSCM and PLSSCM. So that will understand and will take it forward. So thank you for the invitation, and I will try my best to engage participant as I can. And sorry for delay in joining. I joined, I think, 4 minutes late
No
because
issues.
Google Meet. We mostly work on Zoom, so I'm not very conversant with this. So sorry for that delay, and I will try my best to engage the participants. I'm sharing my screen for the benefit of the
Sure, sir.
class.
Sure.
Till the time, if you have anyone have any question or anything to ask, what's your expectation and what you want to learn, if one or two person can tell me, then it will be great help for me to design the things in subsequent days. Any one of you, if you want to share that what's your objective to join this session, only one or two participants, so that will give me the clear picture that how to take it forward. Any one of you can share that what's your objective to just it will give me a flavor only that how it's taken, what it takes. So I want to know that any one of you can.
No, your screen is visible.
My screen is visible. Any one of you can share one or two lines. Means what your expectation
I
in this
request
program.
participants to
Yeah,
unmute one
please.
or two and share what is your expectations from
So
this program.
accordingly, I will design and deliver the things. Otherwise, it will be my choice what I want to teach
Yes.
and what I to take forward. So you want basic, you want advanced. What you want, just let me know in any one of you. So that's how I can do this.
Sir, good evening. This is Kiran Mai, a scholar from JNTU Anantapur. So I would like to understand how it is being used in finishing our PhD, because many of the theses are being using this things and that using a SEM model.
Okay.
So basic understanding of this so that I can also use this.
In your PhD, to complete
Yes,
your PhD and using.
yes,
Very
yes.
good, very good. Kiran Maiji, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kiran Maiji, any other one other, anyone? Some expectation and perception. If you don't have zero, if you have zero expectation, if I get zero, then one you will be satisfied. Just I want to raise your expectation and I just want to know your expectation. So at least I can deliver something. Otherwise, deliver. So that great thing for me at least, constructive perspective. Many expectation. But one expectation I got from PhD. Voice is not audible. Someone is saying voice is not audible. Is it Professor Sunil? Can you reconfirm that? My voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible.
Yeah. So Saroji, you check it.
Sometimes it's interrupting, sir.
Sometime it could be. So I will try my best to speak louder. So definitely it will be come to you, right? So now I will take the session forward. First, today I will discuss about introduction about structure equation modeling, and from tomorrow onwards we will do the hands-on sort of thing. So today I will introduce. Before introduction, I will introduce myself. I am Professor Amit, and at Assistant Professor of Marketing at IM Visakhapatnam. I used to teach this subject called research methodology, marketing analytics, digital marketing, social media marketing, and sales and distribution management. These are the courses I am teaching. In research, I got 48 papers, 44 already published, and 4 accepted, which might be published sometime. It's not on my Google Scholar, but definitely it will be Google Scholar in some time. Out of which I think 30, I did not count actually, but around 30 is A with impact factor more than 3. My Google Scholar today saying that I have in citation is 1211. 1211 citations I have. My H index is 16, and you all people are aware of this H index and I-10 index. I-10 index is 22. Reviewed 67 article last year. I am doing it extensively. So every day I'm getting some requests to review the paper, and that gives me understanding that what coming into the research. One P ranking came, they said that I'm in the top 5 researchers in India in management in last 2 years, 2019 and 2020. 2020 and 2021. So I am publishing a lot with the help of most of my work on SCM domain only. So previously I used to work on the structural equation modeling only. I did some of the program certification program also. I do some program on SWAM. I did some of that. And so I am very much active into this domain called consulting and this doing this executive education. Personally, I love to write. I am very much talkative. It's very difficult for me to manage work-life balance because when you are doing research, you know the rigor and the pain of doing research and getting publication. So it's a bit difficult for me somehow able to manage, and I'm very active on social media. This is something one's page is talking about me. Then just give you my background. I completed my PhD from IIT Kharagpur, Binod Gupta School of Management, IIT Kharagpur in 2018. I have joined this course of PhD in 2014. I completed in 2018. After completion of my PhD, I joined IMT Ghaziabad. Some of people know the Institute of Management Technology Ghaziabad. For 1.5 years, I worked there for till 2019. In 2019, I have joined IMD Sattvatham. So last 3 years, I am associated with IMD Sattvatham. This is all about me. Short story I can tell you. This is all about. Now, important question will start the today's session: the structure equation modeling. So first we need to understand what structure equation modeling is. That is the first thing that we need to understand. We must understand that what is structure equation modeling. First, I will tell you that this is not a statistical technique. So you will amaze that what professor is saying that it's not a statistical technique. It is true. It's not only one statistical technique, but this is the combination of many, what you can say, tools and techniques. So it's not one statistical technique, it's a combination of many tools and techniques. You will amaze to know that in structure equation modeling, nothing is taking care from management. So it's all from different discipline which is coming in. So measurement theory is coming from psychology, factor analysis is coming from psychology and sociology, path analysis, which we use and we will understand in subsequent session, is coming from biology, regression is coming from, again, statistics and sociology, simultaneous equation is coming from econometrics. So why I wanted to say and what I want to say here is that it's the method which is taken care from different discipline, not from only particular discipline, right? That's how you go. It's a representation of equation with diagram that I will tell you. When you talk about structure equation modeling, it's a combination of factor analysis plus path analysis. So that's why we call it path analysis using latent variable. I'd explain it how it takes and what it takes and why I'm saying that it's path analysis using latent variable. Now try to understand one situation. I have one variable called x, which could be any variable. X, I have one variable called x, which could be anything. It could be service quality, which is my input variable, leads to by dependent variable, which is equal to satisfaction. So if you will provide service quality, customer will become satisfied. That's how it goes, right? So x into y. So if I need to check the relationship between input and output variable, not causality, but relationship between input and output variable, what method we are using? We are using regression. Yes or no? Regression method we are using to check the relationship between input and variable. Very simple story. But now try to understand this situation. If I have one variable called x, right? Other variable called x1, other variable called x2, other variable is called x3, and one variable dependent variable called by. If this type of relationship, that also we can check with the help of regression. Yes or no? Multiple regression. You have multiple independent variable, one dependent variable, run multiple regression, and you will get the result. Difficult part. So for these kind of relationship, when you have one dependent, one independent, and 3 independent or 4 independent or 5 independent, multiple independent and one dependent, we can check it with regression. No doubt in it, there is no great thing in it. We will check it in the subsequent session too. We will do a hands-on at it. But try to understand this situation. When you have one variable, input variable x, and you have two output variable called by1 and by2, possible that you have two output variable and one input variable. In this case, can we run one regression? Can anyone tell? Can we run one regression and get the result? Is it possible to run one regression and get the result?
No.
No, we have to run two regressions. First, where x will be input, y1 will be output. And second, because the limitation of regression that only one column for the dependent variable. You can have multiple independent variable, but dependent will be only one. So you can't run it. So in this case, you can say that I want to use structure equation modeling, which will handle both the independent variable simultaneously. So no need to check one by one, that first x2 by 1 or then x2 by 2. You can check it. The first condition, and that's how it's different from this. Second thing, you understood this point, that first situation. Second thing, sometime it could possible that x leads to m, which leads to y. Possible? This relationship could be possible. That x leads to some x variable, and this leads to the dependent. For example, service quality leads to satisfaction, which leads to loyalty. Now, this type of relationship we are having. If I need to check it again, I have to run two regression equation. First x to m, and 3 I can say that x to m to y, and then x to y. This also. So we have to run 3 equations if you want to check this particular relationship. Again, it's not possible. When you will run 3 equations, then definitely whenever you will change the input, result will change. So for that also you can use structure equation modeling. That is the second situation. First situation, when you have 2 output variable. So if sometimes reviewer will ask, or sometimes your thesis exam is asked, why you have used structure equation modeling? First answer you must have that in my model there are 2 dependent variable, and simultaneously we can't check in the regression equation. That's why I'm using it. Second, sometimes there are some variable, so we call it intervening variable, is coming between input and output variable and affect the relationship. If you want to check that, that's for that also structure equation modeling is required. You got my point? That's how it goes. Third situation I'm telling you the situation if someone is asking why you are using a structure equation modeling, because nowadays it's become fashion. Irrespective of my situation, I will use structure equation modeling. Why? I don't know. So if someone is asking why you use structure equation modeling, so everyone is using, that's why I'm using. So this is not the right answer that you need to give to your reviewer, examiner, or thesis examiner, or anyone. So these are the 2 situations. Third situation I will tell you. There are 2 types of variable we call observed variable and latent variable. Observed variable are those variables which you can ask and observe very easily. For example, what's your roll number? Simple question I will ask, what is your roll number? I will get the information. What is your age? What is your income? Whatever question these are observed variables. So one single question is sufficient enough to measure that particular variable. That we call observed variable. One variable, and that is very prominent in the social science and consumer behavior, is called latent variable. So what people are saying in the social science and consumer behavior, if you need to measure the satisfaction, single question will not work. You can't ask one question that are you satisfied, that will work. So what we are doing, we are asking 3-4 questions. That we call latent variable. So there are one variable called this observed variable like this. So observed variable be wrote like this. These are observed variable which is in rectangular. So if I need to understand your gender, I will ask what is your gender, male or female. So it's observed. With the help of this question, I can observe it. But when I need to measure the satisfaction, this is my variable. So what I need to ask 3 questions. Are you liking the product? Are you loving this product? Are you satisfying, or this product will meet your satisfaction? So I'm asking 3 questions. Question number 1, question number 2, question number 3 to measure satisfaction. That we call latent construct. So latent construct are those construct which call a hidden construct too, which measure by more than one question. For simple definition I am giving. I'm not going into the integrity of the variability, but I'm just telling you that if a variable is not able to measure by a direct question, so what we are doing, and that's happened in most of the research problem, that if you have to measure any variable, you have 2-3 scales we talked about, that you have some scale and there are 2-3 items, 4-5 items to measure that particular variable. So if this type of situation, what you will do in regression, you will take the average. For example, if there is observed variable, you can check it in regression, right? So if I have one observed variable, this is also x is also observed, y is also observed, I can run the regression and get the result. But when I have this satisfaction and there are 3 items, what we will do? We will check the equation. So what we are doing generally, we are taking average. But when you are taking the average, you are not considering the error factor. So in all the case, there are some error factor. In there are also here, there are some error, there are some error. So you are not considering error factor. So for considering the error factor, you must have this structure equation model. So I have given you three situations. First situation, when you have two output variable. Second situation, some of the variable is input variable 2, like M. This variable is input variable for y and output variable for x in this situation. Third situation, when you are dealing with latent construct, then regression will not able to cover the error part. And for that, we need to understand the structure equation model. These are the only three situations in the world which differentiate from regression to structure equation model. Any question I'm open for it. If any question related to regression and structure equation model, where to use regression and where to use multiple structure equation modeling and where to use regression. Any question or it's clear? These are the only three situations. Or you can say that when you have to check mediation and moderation, although it's possible in regression, but when you have complex model, it's better to go with structure equation modeling rather than this. Fourth, you can say that when you have to check the model fit, you want to check the model fit. That's not possible in regression, although we are getting R square, but that is not the right indicator or suitable indicator to check the model fit. So these are certain reasons. That's why we are using structure equation modeling instead of multiple regression. Any question till here? Please let me know. If not, we will go to the next part. Very much clear? Three pointers I am repeating again. First point, then you have more than one dependent variable. So you can't run regression, because in regression there is limitation that only one part. True. Second, some of the variable sometimes independent also and output also, input and out, like this variable. M variable is output for x and input for y. So in this case, you have to run three regression equation if you want to check the. So that's how you need a structure equation modeling. Third, when you are dealing with latent construct like satisfaction, which is latent construct, loyalty, behavior, emotions, then you have to use structure equation. These are the three major, I'm saying, base things that you must tell to your audience and examiner if you are using it. If your model is observed variable with many input and one output, go with regression. No need to go for structure equation modeling. Don't use because everyone is using. Use because it's suitable to my analysis, right? So always understand your analysis tool should be suitable to your problem statement. It's suitable to your data rather than just I am using because everyone is using. It's not good idea to do it, right? Then sample size we will discuss in detail. That what sample size required, that we will discuss in detail in subsequent slides. Done. So now we'll go to the next part. Next part, this structure equation modeling, people are saying covariance structure analysis, also analysis of moment structure, analysis of linear. These are some different name people are giving. Causal modeling. Software, we have different software for structure equation modeling. Linear, M+, Amos, Smart PLS, Calyx, MX, TPAT, Chitrad, R, Stata, Python, started to. So the different software for this structure equation modeling. Basically, the objective of this workshop or certificate program to understand the Amos part 1. So Amos part is handling CBSCM, covariance based structure equation modeling. So there are two types of majorly structure equation modeling. One we call PLSSCM. One we call CBSCM. CB means covariance based structure equation modeling. And second is called partial least structure equation modeling. There are different, all these software are previously we is supposed to do it on the linear. Plus we are doing for hierarchical relationship. Voice is not clear? So we have different software to do this, and basically we will focus mostly on Amos for this workshop, and other software we will discuss how it can go into the I have already understood this, make you understand this point, that where to use a structural equation modeling, number of dependent variable is more than one. Complex, multifaceted and measurement with error means latent variable when you have. System of relationship means some independent variable is dependent also and some dependent variable independent too. If you need to check the mediation, direct and indirect effect, then in the also, and when you not need to give the model fit indices, then also it should be used. So these are different techniques and different situations where structural equation modeling is very much suitable. Now I will come to the very important question, and there is the big debate going on, that there are two types of SCM. One is CBSCM, covariance based SCM, as we talked about, and second is PLS SCM. Now, huge contradiction. Someone will say PLS is better, someone will say CBSCM is better, and we have different software for this. So CBSCM we are running in Amos, and PLS SCM we are running in Smart PLS. Recently they come up with Smart PLS 4. Previously it was at Smart PLS 3. Now huge contradiction going on. In case of moderating variable, you can check in moderation to this regression too. So it's very easy to check moderation in regression too, but we are using a structural equation modeling. So you can't say that you have moderating variable, that's why you're using a structural equation modeling, but it's very easy to check moderation in regression. Because just what you have to do, you have to multiply input with moderator and run the regression. That you know, but situation will remain same. If you have two output variable in any one moderation, definitely you should use a structural equation modeling. If you have latent variable as moderation as input, then you should use it. So, but if you have only moderator, so if you have model like this, one input variable which is observed, there is one output variable which is observed, and there is one moderator which is also observed. In this case, structural equation modeling is not required. You can do it in regression only, right? So you can't say that for regression only I should go with this. For moderation only I should go with regression. But yes, mediation it's a bit challenging because I'll discuss it when we'll cover the mediation part. In mediation, where can approach you can use you can use this approach to explain the mediation, but that is old now, and people are preferring Amos only to give you the mediation results rather than regression. Some people are doing regression too in the mediation, but that's not acceptable nowadays. People are not accepting. Yes. So I will first explain you what is the difference between CBSCM and this Amos SCM, and then I will take the questions. Big debate going on. For me, both methods are same. It depends on the where you should use CBSCM and where you should use PLS SCM. Some people will say if you will ask to hair et al, they will say that yes, hair and wrinkle, they will say that this PLS is very good. When you ask to Gaskin, they will say that no. CBSCM is very good. It's about that what my expertise is. If I'm expert in this CBSCM, I will say that CBSCM is. If you are in PLSSCM, you will say that PLSSCM. It's not about the tool, that which tool is good and bad. It's all about that how you are using and where you should use it. So it's not about good or bad. It's about the suitability of a particular tool in particular situation. So try to understand where you should use PLSSCM, where you choose CBSCM. If you are studying exploratory in nature, so if you are doing some of the study which is very new, and most of the time we are claiming that it's new. No one say that my study is old, everyone's study is new only. My point is that when I'm saying exploratory in nature means you are not using any base theory. So for example, we have different theory at the time, TPB, circle theory, or it could be UTAT theory or value theory. So whatever, if you are using some theory means that is descriptive in nature. So if your objective is to explore something new, for example, I want to know the customer view towards cryptocurrency. This is something very new. I don't have any particular theory to explain it. Then in that case, I can use PLSSCM. Objective study to check that if it will work in the hospitality context or not, and this work in particular context or not, then you should use CBS. So CBSCM, covariance based system, basically I will discuss you with CBS. subsequent session, is mostly discuss about the how to establish the relationship rather than exclude the relationship. Now, one thing, if you in CBSCM, your data should be normal. Normal means what? Your data should follow normal distribution. And when I'm saying normality, means you don't have skewness, you don't have what you can say outliers, and you don't have this kurtosis. These are three indicators. Your data set should not have any outlier, which is very rare in case of survey basis, because survey basis we have either 1 to 5 scale or 1 to 7 scale. The outlier is not possible, right? Because all the data will vary between 1 to 7. So outlier is not an issue when you are taking survey. Issue will be a skewness and kurtosis. Skewness means your data could be skewed left skewed. All has given 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, or all has given 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So if these kinds of situation coming in, your data could be either right skewed or left skewed. So that will become, so for example, I said the data set will be like this one. Some data points like this, some data points, some, so all the points should be there 1 to 5 scale. But sometimes your data points like this only. So all the data points, most of the data, sometimes your data points like this only. This is your data. It started from here and here. So most of the people has given the positive response. They are not giving this side 1, 2, 3. They will given all the respondent given 5. Or it could possible that all the responses given 1, 2, 1, 2. So it could be either right skewed or left skewed. So if that's type of your data, you are not supposed to run the structure CBSCM, covariance-based structure equation modeling. So for covariance structure equation modeling, data should be very much normal. But if you are running PLSSCM, normality is not required. Sample size, someone asked what is sample size? CBSCM, I'll tell you, 200 plus anything is good. 200 plus is anything good. You can use it. But lesser the sample size, less will be the goodness of the fit. So you have to increase the sample size to get the goodness of the fit of the model. But yes, 200 plus sample size will work. You can give the citation here et al. 2010 or 2016. Both the year you can write here et al. 2010 or 16. Any sample size 200 plus, which will be more than sufficient to run CBSCM. PLSSCM, no need for sample size. You can run anything 30 plus. So anything 30 plus data set you have, you can go with PLSSCM. So sample size requirement is not required in case of PLSSCM, but in CBSCM it's required. PLSSCM can handle more complex model, but CBSCM it's a bit difficult to get the result in complex model. So if your model is complex, my suggestion go with PLSSCM rather than CBSCM. Important part, and that is the one basic part that I need to understand and make you understand. There are two types of variable, right? One is called reflective variable and second is called formative variable. How many people are aware of this term? Reflective variable and formative variable. Anyone aware of this term called reflective or formative variable or construct? Anyone? Reflective or formative construct, or no idea? Anyone have any idea about reflective and formative construct? No idea. Kiran may be saying no idea. No idea. I'll tell you that what reflective, that's very important thing you need to understand. When you are measuring satisfaction, you are asking 3 questions and arrow goes like this. If you remember, arrow goes like this. Satisfaction 1, satisfaction 2, and satisfaction 3. These are the 3 questions. And sometimes I want to understand my socio-economical condition, SEC, socio-economic condition. For that, I want to know your occupation in education. These are the indicators of social economic condition. Now try to understand what we mean by reflective. In this case, arrow is coming from PLS is STB is covariance based. That is the difference. here. When I am taking reflective, what it means? I by satisfaction. So satisfaction is defined in this variable.
Sorry, sir.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Your voice is not audible.
It's
Can
not
you-
audible.
Yeah, can you repeat, please?
So when I am saying this is reflective construct, what does it mean? It means that satisfaction is measured by this satisfaction 1, satisfaction 2, satisfaction 3, right? And these variables, satisfaction variable, this item, agar if we will remove satisfaction, there is no value of this item. So these are the item which holds value till the time satisfaction is there. So these items are indicator of satisfaction. Try to understand. If I take satisfaction of the these item has no value. So these item is related to satisfaction. So these satisfaction if satisfaction is not, this item has no value, right? That's how it goes. Now try to understand this situation. If we will delete, sometimes we are deleting satisfaction 1, we will have only what? We will have only satisfaction 2 or satisfaction 3. Quite possible that I can delete satisfaction 1. That is possible in case of reflective construct. But in formative construct, what is formative construct? These 3 variables are making this third variable called social economic condition. So these all 3 variables are very much important. So if I will delete income, I can't see that you are having social economic status. The education, I can't say that. The what is reflective construct? When similar items are coming together and third by latent construct, that we call reflective item. These 3 items are together coming, which is very much similar and measuring satisfaction. Here, these are 3 different items which are coming together and building a so you are not supposed to delete any of the item. When you are running CBSCM, covariance based SCM or Amos, you can't handle this. So if you have any formative construct, you can't handle this. You got my point or not? So CBSCM only handle reflective construct, that you have asked 5 questions for satisfaction, 10 questions for loyalty, 5 questions for trust, and these are indicators of satisfaction, quality, and loyalty. Then only work. If your model type this, your variable is formative in nature, that these 5 variables are forming this variable, then it's not possible. That's how it, always remember, when you have formative construct in your model, generally it's rarely happen that you have formative construct in your model. But if you have formative construct in your model, you must go through PLS-SCM rather than CBSCM. Last but not least, in CBSCM, you will get goodness of fit, we call GOF, goodness of fit. Either it's, and we will discuss in detail, it could be CMN by DF, it could be TLI, CFI, GFI, NFI, AGFI, different instructors are there. But in case of PLS-SCM, we are not getting any of the goodness of the fit. Although we are getting SRMR, NFI, but that's not a great indicator. So if goodness of fit we are not getting in PLS-SCM, but in CBSCM we are getting. Last but not least, very much important, non-recursive model. If your model look like this, that X is Y and X leads to Y and Y also leads to X, you can run this model in CBSCM, but not in PLS. So if you have this type of recursive model, then you can run in CBSCM, not possible in case of PLS. That's how. Any doubt between PLS-SCM or CBSCM, please let me know. Although PLS-SCM is not our cup of tea in this case, but you need to understand what it takes, because some of the time we are very fascinated about PLS-SCM because it's a bit easy, but CBSCM holds more what you can say validity and model fitness also rather than PLS-SCM, right? Any question? I don't know how many people are aware about PLSSCM, but these all two for checking the what you can say, structure equation modeling, to check the structure. So what is the difference? Someone asked me what is the difference between PLSSCM. The very simple difference. What CBSCM is saying, if you have two input variable x1, x2, and you have one output variable called by, and you have this type of relationship, CBSCM says that these two should be covary. All input variables should be covary, and then they will check, because we want to create a model. So I don't know how many people are aware of a theory called TAM, which is technology acceptance model. What is saying technology acceptance model? That there are two variable PU and perceive ease of use. So these are two variable of TAM. So this should always co-vary, always will go together, which will lead to intention, adoption. So that is CBSCM. PLS is saying what? There are two variable, no relation. That will lead to by x1 to by and x2. There will not be co-vary between input variable. That is the only difference between PLSSCM and CBS. CBSCM is saying that all the input variables should co-vary, means this should be related. But PLS is saying these all are independent because it's partial square, and that's how it goes. Any doubt, please let me know. PLSSCM or CBSCM? Any doubt in it? Please let me know. Any book here et al. 2016 book they have. You can go through either Barbara Bryan book. So Barbara Bryan primer for covariance based structure equation modeling. That is good book. That's for the starting point. I'll share the link or name of the book with Professor Sunil, and he will share with you all. So Barbara Bryan primer of structure equation modeling. That is good book for. Here also come up with book of structure equation modeling, CBSCM based structure equation modeling. Yes. Done. So it's a basic understanding for you people. Now how it goes, that I will tell you, that if you have to run any structure equation modeling, I will tell you that what structure equation modeling, SCM, is nothing but two things: factor analysis plus path analysis. How it will go, I will let you know that how it goes, right? If you want to use structure equation modeling in your research, first you have to, what do you have to do? You have to define your construct. What will be your construct of the model? That you have to define from literature review or from exploratory study, whatever you want to do. So first what you have to do, you have to define your construct in your model. That what will be my construct, right? For example, I am defining and giving example. Last example I have given, that perceive usefulness and perceive ease of use, PEOU, and attitude will lead to adoption intention. So that I should take from literature, right? Whenever you are developing a model, that should from literature. So that I am taking from the literature, that a PEO attitude is affecting our this adoption intention. Now try to understand the important part. First, what you have to do, you have to measure this PU, POU, and attitude. So what you will do, you will ask some question. So I have asked two questions to measure perceive usefulness. I have asked three questions to measure PEOU, and I have asked three questions to measure attitude. So first I will ask three questions to measure, that we call survey document. So for measuring each of the variable, what I will do, I will ask certain question which we call item, right? So I will have certain item to measure that particular variable. For perceived usefulness, I will have two items or three items, whatever item it. Once you get some of the questionnaire from literature again, what you will do, you float the response questionnaire, you will get the data. you will get data for all the items, right? Now, important thing. First, I need to check, is this 2 question which I have asked, or these 3 questions which I have asked to measure PEO, these 3 questions I asked to measure attitude, these 3 questions I asked to measure adoption intention are reliable or valid or not. You got my point or not? I have to check factor analysis. FM is factor analysis. So I need to check that these 3 items, 2 items, 3 items, 3 items are, because what my intention? With the 2 question I will measure perceived usefulness. With this 3 question I will measure PEOU. These 3 question I will measure attitude. So as a researcher, first thing I need to confirm that is these 2 items are sufficient enough to measure PEO or not. So means I need to check the reliability and validity of the question or item, that we call factor analysis. Factor analysis is doing nothing. The factor analysis we are running to check, and factor analysis majorly we are running CFA, confirmatory factor analysis. So what factor analysis is saying, that these items are reliable or valid or not. Once we check it, now we have to check the relationship between this and this. This is the relationship beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. For that, we need to run the path analysis. The beauty of structure equation, yeah, it's variable. PU and PU are variable. Yes, our items are considered. What's your question? It's better you unmute yourself and ask the question. And PU and PU are variable. Our items are considered as variable. No, items are not variable, right? That's why they are in different shape. Na? Variables are in latent variables are in round shape or oval shape, and items are in rectangular shape. So items means question which you are asking, and variables means variable you want to measure, right? That's how it goes. Now, first, the beauty of structure equation modeling is that first they will check the reliability and validity of the question, which we call confirmatory factor analysis. Confirmatory factor analysis, CFA, where we will understand that these items which we asked to measure a particular variable are reliable and valid or not. And simultaneously, I can get this relationship that is PU has significant of adoption intention or not, PU has significant effect of intention or not, attitude has. That's how it goes. And that we check in structure equation model. Now I will tell you one more thing. I will give you the example, basic example, then you will understand very clearly, and then I will take the question. For example, just be with me and try to understand. My objective of research is to understand factor affecting mobile payment adoption intention in India, right? This is my topic of research. Try to understand. So my topic of research is factors affecting mobile payment adoption intention in India. Once I will get problem and statement, what we will do? First, what we will do? Can anyone tell me? First, what we will do? If you are getting this problem statement, first step, what we are doing in research? Anyone? If this is my problem statement, what we will do first? What we will do? Anyone?
We will take review regarding mobile payment adoption intention.
Very good, Vidyaji, very good. So first we will go for literature review, and with the help of literature review, I'll try to identify what could be the probable variables which could affect, or which could be, what are the probable factors which affect mobile payment adoption intention. So I did some literature review. I found 4 variables like perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control. That I have identified, that literature is saying that these 4 variables could affect the adoption intention, mobile payment adoption intention, right? Possible? This is my simple model I am talking about. Now, on the basis of that, I will write hypothesis. My first hypothesis H1 such that PU has significant impact on adoption. H2 that PU has significant impact on adoption. H3 such that subjective norm has significant impact on adoption. And H4 such that PBC, perceived behavioral control, has significant impact on adoption. Right? So I will write my hypothesis. Once my hypothesis is done, उसके बाद हम लोग क्या करेंगे? What we will do? When my hypothesis is established, what we will do? What we will be supposed to do once my model is defined and hypothesis is developed? It's very easy. How we are doing any research after this? What's the next step? Anyone? Very good. Questionnaire development. Now I have to measure this variable, right? PU. So what I will do, I will go back and develop my questionnaire. Questionnaire means I will ask different questions. For PU, I will ask 3 questions. That this is useful, this is very much helping me in fulfilling my objective, and this is very much utility. So I will ask some question. For example, I have asked 3 questions to measure PU. Possible? So I will ask different questions to measure different construct. I am assuming that for all the variables, I have asked three questions. So first I have to define these 3 questions and develop my questionnaire. One thing always remember, measure output variable too. Most of the time people forget to measure output variable. So always we will go back to the literature. I'll develop some of the questionnaire items, and then I will try to measure that with the data collection. One data will done. Now first thing I have to check what these 3 items or 3 questions which I have asked to measure this perceived usefulness is reliable or valid or not. That is my first question. Second question. So for that we need to run confirmatory factor analysis. So first job we have when we are dealing with, there is no any maximum and minimum question. For being latent, minimum should be 2. Minimum should be 2. Maximum, there is no limit. But problem is that there is a trade-off between number of questions and quality of the response. If you will have too many questions, who will respond to your questionnaire? No one. And they will fill 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 or 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So there is a trade-off between number of questions and quality of the response. That's why generically, I'm making very generic statement that more the ideal number is 3 to 4. In PhD, your supervisor will ask 10 questions for one variable. It could be because of the safer side. I'll tell you that what will happen. Sometime in the reliability and validity stage, some of the variable will get deleted. That's why your supervisor might ask you to measure your questionnaires of 60 items or 70 questions. But 3 to 4 is more than sufficient. If 1 or 2 got deleted, I'll able to hold the latent of the construct. What happened? For example, I have one variable PU. I have asked 2 questions. 1 question 1, question 2. During the reliability and validity, if 1 is deleted, then it will not become latent. Now it will become observed, and that is creating problem. So always what you need to do, you have to ask 3 to 4 questions per variable, and that's how we run the analysis. But there is no any, sometimes a scale is saying, so if you are using personality scale, definitely there are defined items. If you are using sub-color scale, there are 22 items are defined, right? So when you are taking established scale, then items are defined. Adoption intention, when you take TPB, for perceived behavioral control, you have 3 items which is defined. For attitude, is 5 items which is very much defined. So sometimes it will be defined in the model, but you always try to keep 3 to 4 items at least for all the construct. Now, first job, we need to check the reliability and validity of the construct. For that, we need to run the CFA. That we will learn tomorrow, that how to run the CFA on actual data, confirmatory factor analysis. So we are confirming that these factors are measured by these items or not. And then second, we have to check this hypothesis to H1, H2, H3, H4. For that, we need to run path analysis. So these are 2 major methods which we are running in structure equation modeling. First, we used to check the confirmatory factor analysis to check the reliability and validity of the scale, or you can say the factors and items. And then second, we run what you can say Path analysis to check the relationship between input variable or output variable and whatever hypothesis we have stated. And that's how structure. And then after I will write the result, and that's how in any of the paper we are writing. Got the problem statement, do the literature review, identify the variable, prepare the question, collect the data, run confirmatory factor analysis, run path analysis, write the result, implication, and that's it. And limit some time limitation. Path analysis, and definitely we have whole session on confirmatory factor analysis. So confirmatory factor analysis here we will not check any relations in confirmatory factor analysis or factor analysis. Just we will check if these three items PU1, PU2, PU3 are reliable, means it's right item or right question to measure PU or not. That's it. Our objective done. So in confirmatory factor analysis or factor analysis, we'll just check that item we are a question we are asking to measure any of the particular variable are right type of question or not. In case of path analysis, we need to check the relationship. What is the effect of PU1 mobile payment adoption? What is the effect of PUO? So here we are talking about the item question. Here we are talking about variable. That effect of variable 1 PU on mobile payment adoption, effect of PEO on mobile payment adoption, effect of subjective norm of mobile payment adoption, and effect of perceived behavioral control. So that we call path analysis. Means relationship between two variables. Factor analysis means reliability and validity of the structure, right? Any doubt, please let me know. That is all about structure equation modeling. Now you can make it complex. You introducing mediation, introducing moderation, moderated mediation, multi-group, whatever you want to, you can do it. But this is the basic that you must understand that in this situation, and that's how we are using this very well. Please let me know if you have any questions here. Any question or no question? Any question, please let me know. Industry, you give me the context, I will give you the example. Industry, simple example could be, you give me the context. I am taking a context from industry. My employees are leaving my organization. I want to know that why they are leaving. So it could be the working environment, it could be the salary, it could be the leader is not good. So we have different variable. We have to measure first those variable, and then we can check that which variable is having highest impact on employee churn and employee leaving. Again, I want to know the firm performance, that what is the effect of firm performance. It could be your R&D, it could be your human resource capital, it could be your export and import. So you have different input variable which leads to your performance. So we can check that which variable is having impact on firm performance. It could be A variable, it could be B, it could be C, it could be D. It could be human capital, it could be resources, it could be supply chain, it could be export import, it could be government intervention, it could be legal factor. So different factors which leads to firm performance or organization performance. So we can first measure those input construct, either it's government intervention or legal environment or our supply chain capability or our resources or human capital, and then we can check that how it's affecting the firm performance. Then we can run it. So it's simple. You can take any. So it's not about the context. Any context is really applicable. Just you need to find out some of the input variable and some of the output variable. And this method will check that first this variable is measured rightly or not. That is the first thing. And second, this method will tell you that what is the relationship between those input and output variable which you have understood. You got this point or not, please? It's very simple. Difference between regression, I have told the linear regression and CBS. CBSCM is also the multiple simultaneous regression. Then you have two output variable. Then you can't run linear regression, because the limitation of the linear regression is that there could be only maximum one output variable, right? So when in your model there are two output variable, then definitely you should run it. So there is no any difference. Structural equation modeling is also the multiple regression equation they are running simultaneously, which is not possible in case of linear regression. So simple word I am telling you, CBSCM is nothing but it's combination or simultaneous combination of different regression. In this case, whatever model is in your screen, we have three regression we can run simultaneously. One from reputation to satisfaction, second from reputation to loyalty, third from satisfaction to loyalty, which is not possible in linear regression. For linear regression, we have to run three linear regression. First linear regression, reputation to satisfaction, second linear equation from reputation to loyalty, and third linear regression, satisfaction to loyalty. That is the difference between linear regression and custom CBSC. Right. Another question? Now it's we will go for 10-minute breaks here, and then we can come back again, because and then we will I will make you understand very important concept difference between EFA and CFA, and then we'll go for
Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
we'll go for 10 minutes break. 10 minutes break. We will come around. It's 15 minutes break. We can come at 7:30, and then we can resume our session for 30 minutes, and we will understand about factor analysis. I'll take you through the factor analysis difference between EF and CFA, which is very much important. Most of the people are confusing themselves between using factor analysis, which is EF, and confirmatory is CFA. That we will understand that is difference between. Uh, it's difficult to get 200 response. If you can't get 200 response, run PLS SCM rather than CBSCM. It's difficult to fit into less respondent. So you can use PLS. Right. We'll come back at 7:30 or 5:30, and we'll start about this.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. So we'll all again join at 5:30.
Yeah.
15 minutes break.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah, I think there was some technical issue, so I could not able to connect.
No,
Right, I was
no
trying.
issues. No issue.
So I will take the session 10 minutes extra from now to 6:10. That's not an issue. I have
Okay, sir.
collected 200 responses from industry that I am SCM. Like data that which you are talking about, so it's not only sample size. I have given you some condition, right? So if your data is showing that you have two output variable, or you have some of the variable is input variable is output variable too, and in some of the cases you have this latent variable you are having, then you can use it. So it's not about only data points, it's something different that you need to understand. You got the point or not? So it's not about only data point. Data point is the prerequisites that must be to run the analysis. So if you are having 1200 data points with one input variable and output variable, we can't run SCM. Got it? So it's not about the data points, how much you are having. It's about that, are you fulfilling this condition or not? Now, especially for PhD people, factor analysis is very much important, and PhD people who are there in PhD to try to understand factor analysis. We have types of factor analysis. One is called exploratory factor analysis, which is EFA, and second is called confirmatory factor analysis, which is CFA. So we have two types of factor analysis. One is confirmatory factor analysis, and second is exploratory factor analysis. There is huge debate is going on. Where is to use EFA, where is to use CFA. In SCM, we are using CFA, confirmatory factor analysis. In some of the cases, we are using EFA, and I will tell you where to use EFA and where to use CFA. EFA, as name suggested, that's exploratory factor analysis. In an exploratory factor analysis, the only condition I can tell you, when in one hand, when you are doing the research and you don't know that these four questions we have asked, question I'm talking about, question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4. I am not knowing that these questions are measuring which variable. That I am not known. मुझे नहीं पता. So I'm taking an interview. I got some keyword. From this keyword, I have taken the developing your question, and you which would I will create a two-factor, factor 1 F1 and F2, and what they will do is that Q1 and Q3 is related to F1 and Q2 and Q4 is related to F2. That's how you got the point or not? That's how it's called EFA. Sometime when you are doing the research, generally we are doing what? Sometime when we are doing the research, I develop my questionnaire from existing scale. So I went back to the literature, I find some of the question from the literature, and I collect the data. So when your variable is defined, I have two variables, one is service quality, another is loyalty. So your variable is defined. First you are defining your variable, especially in descriptive study. You are defining your variable. Now for data collection, you are going back and collecting SQ1, SQ3, SQ2 and SQ3. Here loyalty 1, loyalty 2, loyalty 3 you have taken from the scale. Now try to understand. In this case, we will not run EFA. Why? Because now I am very much sure that these three items are of loyalty. Yes or no? I am very much sure that these are grouping as a loyalty. These three items are for service quality because I have taken from literature. Now what I need to check? I need to check the reliability and validity in particular context where we want to check. So for example, I have taken question from IT context. Now I want to check in some other context. So that's why I need to check the reliability and validity of the question only. So we will directly go for CFA. Simple definition I am telling you, and simple differentiation. When you are developing your own questionnaire and you are not sure that these items are measuring what, then only you run EFA. If you are very much sure and you have taken the question from existing literature, means existing papers, no need to run exploratory factor analysis. You can directly go to confirmatory factor analysis. Any doubt? This is very important question. I'm telling you, most of the PhD scholar, they always run EFA. I don't know why. Some of the time I'm receiving the thesis of some of the people, and I see that they have taken the item from literature and run the EFA. I don't understand why they have run the EFA. EFA will just group it, right? EFA is a method, exploratory factor analysis is a method, which will, what end of the report will do? We will get different factors, factor 1, factor 2, factor 3, factor 4. And that's the only thing. They are not taking anything about reliability and validity of the item. That's only grouping method. So when you are sure from the literature that these 3 items are measuring service quality only, no need to run EFA. You can directly go for CFA. Which items are required to measure a latent variable? Then we have to use. Yes. When you are not knowing, but when you are taking from literature, we are very much sure, right? Because, for example, I have taken variable service quality. I'll go to literature, so I am very much sure that these items will measure service quality because I have taken from some paper where they have used this item to measure service quality. So, simple definition: if you have taken your question from literature, existing literature, don't go for EFA. If you are developing your question by yourself, then only you can. So if you are doing simple, I'm again simplifying it. If you are doing a scale development study, scale development research, scale development PhD, then you go for EFA. Otherwise, no need to go for EFA. CFA is more than sufficient to run the analysis. Most of the PhD students I have seen, they just fill the pages of 200 or 300. They'll go with EFA, all KMO, wordless test, and these and that, all the rotation matrix, main matrix, and your 50-page over. So half of our part done. Does not make any sense. And I can tell you again, EFA, you will never get desirable result. Always there will be some problem. Always. So some of the item which means to measure service quality, that will load to loyalty. And how you will justify that, I don't know. So always try to understand it. Again, I am repeating, when you are developing your own questionnaire or on scale to measure, for example, I am developing it. When Parsuraman, Jethmal and Vedi tried to develop a scale to measure service quality, so they were not sure that these 22 items which I got related to which variable, right? They got only 22 items because they were developing a scale, but they were not sure what variable they are leading to. But when you are taking the items from the existing literature, when you are very much sure that these items are relating reliability, these are measuring assurance and trust, then no need to go with EFA. So EFA, when you are taking interview, identifying the item, run the EFA, give the name to that variable, and then you can check in and quantify it. If you are taking question from the previous studies, previous papers, no need to run exploratory factor analysis. Directly go to confirmatory factor analysis. That's my point. Scale, you can use anything, either 5-point Likert scale and 7-point Likert scale. That's not an issue. Scale could be anything. That is measurement scale. So then only run EFA for one variable. In very good question it is. Someone asked, if there are 3 latent variable and I had taken 2 latent variable from literature review and 1 if I didn't know which items to use, then you have to go for EFA for only that variable which you are not sure. Not use all the variables, all the items in EFA. Only run EFA for that variable for which you are not sure that these items are actually measuring this variable or not. Otherwise, directly go with CFA, which will give you the reliability and validity constructs, measures to understand this. Right. Sometimes what happens, for example, we have one measures. There is one variable called service quality. One item you have taken from literature, 2 is yours, then also you should go with EFA. But if There is service quality, 2 items you have taken from literature, 1 you have developed by yourself. Don't go with EFA, directly go with CFA. That's how it is. That's how you need to understand. So EFA is mostly used when you are developing a scale to measure any of the construct, which we are not doing most of the cases. If you are not developing a scale, if you are taking question from the existing scale or existing study or existing literature, directly go for confirmatory factor analysis. Make my words and please remember this, especially PhD people. You people are very fascinated about EFA. I don't know why. Everyone will run EFA, irrespective of that from where I have taken the items or everything. I will run EFA. I don't know why they are using it, but if thesis will come to me, I'll simply ask you to just remove that section. That's not applicable at all. It does not make any sense. Right. So tools are, there are several tools, 1,000 tools, but we need to understand where a particular tool is applicable. If it's not applicable, we'll don't go for it. If it's applicable, then only we'll go for it. Any question, please let me know related to EFA versus CFA. Any question you have? It's clear? EFA versus use of CFA, it's very controversial. People are very fond of using EFA. I don't know why, especially in India, I have seen that everyone wants to use the EFA. I don't know why. But please let me know you have any doubt about using EFA and CFA. No doubt? So first you will use EFA and then you will use CFA. So first you will use EFA, you develop your items, run EFA, you will be able to group it. After grouping it, you have to give the name. After giving the name, you can run the CFA. So in your case, EFA and CFA both is required. In exploratory factor analysis and confirmatory factor analysis, both is required. And you should go with it, yes. Many literature, you just go through the book of, I don't know, you have book of Hare and Anderson, multivariate data analytics. You can follow that book, they have clearly written it. Hare and Anderson or Hare et al. 2016, now they have come up with 2021 edition 2, where they have clearly mentioned it, that where EFA is required, where CFA is required. And they have clearly mentioned it. And no one will ask the question. Again, I am telling you, if anyone is knowing the research and knowing the research methodology, they will not ask this question, that why you don't go with EFA. Definitely, objective of EFA is to explore the factor. Here, we're not exploring the factor. Factor we are taking from the literature. So my objective is to confirm that these are measuring or not. That's how it goes. So I think hardly someone will ask questions. Any doubt, please let me know. So EFA is determined for number of factors, that how many numbers of factors are coming. So when you are not very much sure, I will share this PPT. Yes. If you have taken 6 from the literature and 1 from yourself, then for that variable only, you run EFA for that variable only. For example, for 6 latent variable you have taken from literature review, no need to run EFA for those items. What you can do, the items which you have developed by yourself, just run those only item to EFA. Otherwise, what will happen? Some of your existing item will load to this new variable, and some of the new this variable item will load to your existing scale, and it's very difficult. It will be very difficult for you to justify it. My suggestion. Yes, yes. Any other question? So EFA is when you are not sure about number of factors, you go with EFA. And when you are sure about number of factors and you just want to check the reliability and validity, then you go with CFA. They are free to load. So when you are running EFA, if you remember, we don't have any constraint. This will load to what factor. So it's free flow. Any way item can flow, and each item load to all the variable. So item 1, 2, 3, 4, if you have 5 factor, all the item will load all the variable or all the factors. But in case of CFA, you have to predefine these 3 items are related to factor 1, these 3 items are related to factor 2. This EFA used for theory building. When you are building a theory, you're developing a scale, it's for theory testing. I want to check this. It's not reliability and validity, you will not get in EFA. And in CFA, it's used for reliability and validity confirmatory factor analysis. Now we'll go with confirmatory factor. If you have no any question, I will show you the interface, and then we will do the analysis tomorrow. If you don't have any question related to EFA, CFA, I will show you the interface, right? No question? Or you have some question? Please let me know. If you don't have any question, I'll make you understand. If you don't have any questions, first open Amos. Today we'll just understand the what you can say interface of the Amos. I don't know which version you are having, but version remains same. So this we call Amos version. Everyone is having this. Please open it. Please open it. This everyone is having this interface of Amos. You just go into the search Amos graphics and click on it. Done? Yes, next session I will start data cleaning. Data cleaning will start because I will share some data and I will let you know how to clean the data. Yes. I'll just showing the interface today with introduction to this. So these are this one thing I will tell you. Then in Amos, the input file will be SPSS file. So Amos always take input as a SPSS file. They are not taking Excel. They are not taking CSV. They are always taking SPB file, which is called SPSS file. So always you must have SPSS if you want to run the Amos. If you don't have SPSS, Amos will not work because input file for this Amos will be SPSS. So first what you have to do, once you get the data, whatever data you are getting from the questionnaire, first you convert into the SPSS and then you have to upload it. How to upload the data, that only we will understand today, and then I will tell you things. So first go to file, and it's better I will tell you tomorrow only, otherwise you will get confused. So I will tell you all the definitions here. So when you will drag here, just select it, just select first one. This is observed variable. Observed variable means if you have some question which is related to some one item, say what is your name, what is your gender, what is your income group. So these are one question. So when you are measuring any variable with one question, that we call observed variable, measure by this. When you have some latent construct, you should use this. Can you see this? Just select here under this latent construct. Come here, it will give 1, then 2, 3. But just click here then only. Once you will clicking means this is one latent variable which is measured by 3 items, item 1, item 2, item 3. That's how it goes. And it is reflective or formative. It is reflective or formative. It's reflective in nature or formative in nature? It's reflective in nature. Very good. So it's reflective in nature. So first you have to draw this either observed variable or this. Now if I want to draw second one, again click there somewhere, you will get it. Now if you have to just rotate it, what you can do, just select this rotation button. Can you see this rotation button? Just select the rotation button and rotate it. You can able to rotate it any side. That is next thing that you can do. Next, what you have to do, sometimes I want to delete something. For example, I want to delete this. So can you see here this erase objects? Erase objects, you can see, just select this and you can erase it. Anything what you want to delete, just come here and erase it. Now important thing, if you want to take some of the variable from here to here, from take one place to other place, can you see here that first click on symmetry, this we call it preserve symmetry, and then select on truck. This truck you can see move object, and then you can take any of the variable to anywhere. If you will not select in symmetry, so what will happen? This thing only will go. You got one point or not? So always select a symmetry, this symmetry one, and then movement. Then you will be able to move this one to right. Now if you want to give the name, what you have to do, just double click in this. Then you will double click in this oval. Then can you see here variable name? So you can put it service quality and close it. Then service will come here. This is nothing but satisfaction. So I'll put here can you see? That's how you can give the name. So one thing you need to understand, there are two types